What makes something scary? When you think about what made you hide under your covers as a child, what features come to mind? Glowing red eyes and giant teeth? Or maybe a completely featureless face? To me, the answer was everything. I've lived with fears that were, at best, inconvenient, and at worst, disrupted my entire routine. My childhood home had a privacy glass window in the shower right at head level height, and I was so scared of seeing anything out of that window that I took my showers crouching for all 12 years that I lived there. I slept with my covers over my head every night until I was about 17. It wasn't enough to just be scared of monsters, no, I kept going. I was scared of not being liked, being awkward, of my own mortality even. I had a huge meltdown at the age of 8 in my bathtub because I realized I was going to die one day. Yeah, I had a midlife crisis before I reached the middle of 3rd grade. You might be thinking that maybe this was more than just childish fears I was dealing with. And you'd be right. I have always had anxiety. Not just a feeling, but a genuine setback in my brain chemistry that manifested as fears of monsters in my childhood and has grown with my aging. Now, you may not have an anxiety disorder or fully even get what an anxiety disorder entails, but if you've been scared of something at least once in your life, you can probably understand the way that I've been living. Well, as I grew up, I sort of brute forced my way through monsters and fears of the dark, mostly because it became a longer walk after I moved to crawl into my parents' bed for safety at night. So I had to find other ways to deal with my fears because they didn't stop. As I grew up, I became scared of what I was going to do with myself, a job, a college, a future, and of course, all the insecurities that come with being a teenage girl. But you can't turn on a light or crawl into your parents' bed to get rid of feelings of inadequacy. In fact, it kind of only makes them worse. So, I got an exercise idea from therapy. Draw what you're scared of, which can then make it less scary. The method behind it was it gave me control over the figure or whatever it was I was afraid of. The idea came about because of how I tried to describe something to a friend. I deal with sleep paralysis, which comes with visual and auditory hallucinations. And one night, I saw a figure in the corner of my room, as tall as my floor to my ceiling, with glowing red eyes and spines down its back, claws the size of my face. However, when I tried to draw what I had seen for a friend, you can laugh, it's okay. Yeah, but I was able to laugh about it too, and that was able to help me in the moment overcome any of the fear that I was feeling. So, since that gave me strength, I was challenged by my therapist to do that with other things that freaked me out. I had a problem with doing that, seriously, though, because I don't know if you couldn't tell, but I'm not an artist. No. I was worried that my lack of skill in the art world would lean into my self-doubt and just crumble the exercise out beneath me and just lead me down a spiral of negative feelings about myself. However, that didn't turn out to be a problem, because I'm just drawing a monster. It doesn't need to be pretty, it doesn't need to be beautiful. In fact, the worse I was at drawing it, the funnier it was, and humor is a great way at combating fear. So I'm going to cycle back to the first question I asked and reword it. What are you scared of? That's what I had to ask myself to get the ball rolling. I started small with something called Be Warned. I'm going to show you a picture. It's a little spooky. Smile dog. Yeah. The context behind it was if you saw this picture and didn't send it to anyone else, you would die. That chainmail got to me so much as a kid, and the paranoia would pop up as a teenager. So I tried drawing a little wiener dog. Ever seen a wiener dog run? Hysterical. I drew a real smile on it, called it the real smile dog, and just laughed it all the way. And it worked. I felt better. I wasn't scared of dying to a picture of a dog anymore. But I bet some of you answered that "what are you scared of" question with something not so literal. And I get that, because that's a big part of having anxiety as a disorder as opposed to just a feeling. But you get to be more creative with concepts like that, though. An exercise I did was I turned inward and I focused on what I was dealing with. My fragile self-esteem I represented as a glass body. An unsure sense of where I was going in life and what I wanted to do, I represented by filling that body with water. Your first instinct may be to wrap this in bubble wrap and call it a day, but that wasn't quite right for me. Nothing was going to swaddle my feelings in cushiony softness forever. So instead, I made it a human aquarium. And by doing this, my insecurities were given new context. I became a strong plexiglass body full of lively waters and colorful fish swirling about, with condensation for eyes and a funny little gravel mouth. With my art, I reaffirmed myself. I am not made of steel, but I am not frail. I am interesting and I'm fun, and there's things to love about being me. So, after living with anxiety 21 years now, I have found many ways to cope. Something more fun and something definitely more useful than just hoping I'll grow out of it one day. I still haven't. Putting it on paper and drawing it out. Because at the end of the day, we are all scared of something. We all have things we worry about day to day. For example, maybe you are scared of Hollywood serial killers from horror movies. Those got to me a lot too. Think of Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, and maybe you can turn him into a hairless cat. You can even trim his nails if you're real creative. Scared of that outcome of the interview. Doodle yourself with a job. Scared of something really, really big, like dying. Doodle a ghost party. Doodle befriending the Reaper. Doodle anything that helps you get your feelings out on the paper. Because all in all, no matter what you're scared of and no matter your skill level, the pen is mightier than the sword and can help give you control over your fear. In fact, drawing has even given me things to like about myself and reclaim my fears. And I think it might just be able to help you too. Thank you.